I'm not staying in this shot, am I?
No.
No.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine, and look who's back!
It's me!
Kenny! For those of you who have been following us for a long time, then you know that Kenny and I used to review Game of Thrones together for a really long time. And then for those of you who are new, or like are used to seeing Americ, don't worry, he'll be back.
Actually, I'm an upgrade.
He's an upgrade. Americ will be doing the preview breakdown with Kenny. So if you haven't seen that yet, or just wait until you watch this video and then jump to that and see all the crazy stuff.
We're going to be breaking down the preview for the next episode. It's going to be American and me. No girls allowed.
Anyway, let's jump into the first episode of season 7 of Game of Thrones. Dragonstone. Kenny has been like harassing me this whole week about how excited he was.
I have been harassing her.
Let's start with Arya, because she started this whole episode.
Yes! This beginning, this cold open, this Arya cold open was so... It's what we deserved.
It's what we deserve. Finally.
Finally. Yes.
After the Red Wedding, we are finally avenged.
Yeah, I think finally we can say, at least with regard to House Frey, everything has been avenged. And over at WatchersOnTheWall.com, your primary source of Game of Thrones news and information, we knew that the actor David Bradley was coming back for a portion of the show this season. We were like, Walder Frey is coming back? Didn't he die? So you're like, what possible role could he play in this? And we pretty much hit the nail on the head, guessing exactly what was going to happen. Although not to the extent that it did happen. She literally poisoned everyone to death as we stood there and watched. What did you think of that?
At first I'm like, is this a flashback? Are we going back to before she killed him? And then you're like, oh no.
You know, the first clue actually to them about to be slaughtered is the fact that Arya, as Walder Frey, announced that they were drinking Arbor Gold, when in fact, when they were pouring the wine, it was clearly Arbor Red. So if any of these people had been paying attention, that... What? Too nerdy?
I didn't even
was that too
notice
nerdy? It was... Yeah, sorry. It was Arbor Red. It wasn't Arbor Gold. But, you know, look. Maybe they didn't have any... Maybe that was her one... That she was going to be like, okay, if anyone notices that I announce it's gold and they're drinking red...
to live.
They're going to be like, yes, they're smart enough Freys to deserve to live. And
none of them.
None of them did. No.
And then what did you think about her whole encounter with... They were Lannisters soldiers, right?
Yes. So skipping forward a bit, she encounters Lannister soldiers. Apparently Ed Sheeran is a Lannister. Who knew? But he was singing. Oh, and I forget the name of the song. I should have researched the name of the song before putting myself on camera. Bad Kenny. But it's the one that goes. Hands of gold are always cold. That's the line from the song from the books. That a singer makes to sort of mock Tyrion. And I believe his name is Simon Silvertongue. And I don't know if Ed Sheeran was specifically playing Simon Silvertongue because he was wearing Lannister soldier garb again, but there you go. Some book, little book tidbits that they throw us every now and then. These tiny scraps that we're like so hungry for.
But yeah, what did you think about like the encounter? Because I felt like, is she gonna kill them? Is she like rethinking it because they're nice? Are they gonna attack her? Like it was so weird. Like I couldn't figure anyone out in this scene.
The tension for that scene was done excellently because you're going, oh, okay, cool. She's gonna start taking out Lannisters left and right, even though it means having to kill Ed Sheeran. I enjoy Ed Sheeran, so I didn't necessarily want to see him with needle shoved through one ear and out the other one. Although that would be a cool visual, I think, now that I think of it. But as the scene progresses, I'm starting to go, you know, I kind of like these Lannisters.
Yeah,
and me, clearly being a Lannister.
That's true.
Right. You know, I'm like kind of rooting for these guys. And I'm like, oh, I kind of don't want them to die now. And then she drops the I'm going to go murder the queen bomb. And I'm going, did you have to, Arya? Did you really? It's like, she's like poking the bear there a little bit,
Well, maybe she's trying to see like, are they Lannisters, but you know, they don't really support Cersei, or are they like actually really bad Lannisters, I guess. And then it just ended there.
Right, because, well, they showed us her looking at the swords, and are the swords within reach, and you're like, in just a minute, it's going to be like,
yeah, nope, none of that.
like everything, but no, never happened.
I actually like that it was just like a simple, at least for now.
Or maybe it did happen, and they just left it off screen.
That's true. Well, that's what I said. For now, we don't know. Well, maybe episode 2 will tell us what happens next.
Ed Sheeran might be dead. Sorry, guys.
Moving on to the White Walkers that we see for like a really short amount of time. But we got Giants. Whites.
Who was right?
Americ was right.
Americ was right. It kills me.
Don't tell him that he was right.
Oh, he'll say, I was right. I told you.
Yeah.
Undead Giants. And we were like, well...
Yeah, we're like, I don't know.
I don't know. Nope. There's at least 3 of them.
Yeah, there are
that is
3
not
of
good news. That's not good.
Oh.
What? Shut up!
Shut up, Americ!
This is not your segment! I was still right.
I love how they cut that part to Bran having the vision.
Yes.
So you're actually, I'm guessing he's seeing them advance towards the wall, but it's also, they are also currently advancing towards the wall.
Yes,
This
exactly.
is not like something that he sees in the future happening. This is something currently happening, I think.
Very slowly advancing toward the wall.
And then Mia Reed finally drags him all the way to the wall. And then we have Dolores Ed opening the wall.
Oh, yes.
And I'm so worried that he's gonna die.
I guarantee you though, he will not die quietly. If Dolores Ed is killed, he's gonna have like the best
he better.
exit line in the history of the show.
I hope so, but you have this thing where you're happy that Bran finally made it to the wall, and then there's part of you that's like, oh, but that means probably the White Walker is gonna now cross the wall. So
yeah, what does that mean with that mark on his arm? I mean, we don't know exactly, and I think we're gonna find out one way or the other, and it's probably gonna be this season. So
let's move on to Winterfell, and more specifically Jon and Sansa. So Jon actually does what makes sense that he would do. He's like, okay, so Dragonglass kills White Walkers. Let's get as many as we can.
And where does there happen to be a lot of Dragonglass, Sandrine?
Dragonstone.
Dragonstone!
And if you haven't seen Americ's theory, big theory about Dragonstone, we have a video about that. I'll probably put like it in the description if you haven't seen it. But yeah, he has a whole video about how important Dragonstone will be, which, by the way, they kind of set up a little bit in this episode.
Yeah, they totally did with the Sam setup, which we can get to later. But yeah. Is this Americ being right again?
I know, I hate it.
This is terrible. This is a sad day.
This is a sad day. Also, a big moment in Winterfell is Jon and Sansa kind of going at it a little bit, because everybody's been kind of worried about how is that relationship going to evolve.
She held back from publicly going at him at the end of last season, but this season she was finally like, nope. Here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. And it's hard to. They both have really good points. Yeah. My view though is it should be sort of, they should have a happy medium. Like Jon should rally the North. Yeah. Everyone together. Fight the White Walkers, and when they win, then kick the Karstarks out of the castle.
Or maybe like split it, like give him half the thing, and then half like.
I'd be a horribly dishonest king in the North, wouldn't I?
I think she makes a lot of good points, and probably what's most frustrating for her is the fact that, yes, he knows a lot about the White Walkers, but she knows a lot about all the humans. There are enemies to them.
Yes.
She knows about Cersei.
Yep.
She knew about Ramsay, and he never listens to her. Or, he kind of listens, but not really. He's just like, okay, fine, you know about the Night King. Great, I know about everybody else.
Right.
So maybe listen to me. And Littlefinger tries to play on that, which so far she doesn't seem to be like.
No, so far she's not letting him dictate her direction at all in this, and I like that. I love the agency that she has, and I love the fact that she's willing to stand up to Jon and talk about what the things that she believes needs to happen, and but yes, she is thinking on a very human-centric kind of way, and it's not wrong. But again, Jon's like, I sort of have this greater knowledge of the thing that's coming from the North, so we need to deal with that first. Everything else is kind of white noise to him. He's just like. Here comes winter, and
winter is here.
Winter is here, yes.
And the Night's King will raise the dead. I mean, I've seen it.
Yes.
It's scary shit.
But I do like that she's sort of, putting Littlefinger in his place right away.
Yeah.
Although part of me is like, Sansa, play the game a little better. Don't make it so obvious that you have disdain for him, because if he feels like he's completely lost you, I think Littlefinger could just
Yes.
He could just turn, and then what happens?
Someone on Twitter asked us if we had any theories as to what Littlefinger's plan is, or like what his whole thing is. I think he's still trying to get Sansa to marry him, right?
Yeah, he definitely still wants that, but I don't. Again, with how she's reacting to him, I don't think he is seeing it as a very realistic thing anymore. So we'll see. He may have to go to an alternate plan. I don't like the fact that he may have to go to an alternate plan, but he's got to die this year, right?
Does he? I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
unless he wins, he's just the last one. It's just Littlefinger going.
Just Littlefinger going.
Well, I won, Sandra.
I climbed that ladder.
It was chaos, but it was fun.
Do we want to talk about Brienne and Tormund?
Well, of course we have to talk about Brienne and Tormund.
And Podrick. He's there too.
No.
She's training him, but, really, we care about... Well, do you care about Brienne and Tormund?
I do. Well, I care.
I'm so conflicted.
To a point, I care about it because I like to see the interaction.
Yeah.
Brienne, like I said, if she wants to have a fun little roll in the furs with a ginger wildling man, go for it. Have fun, young lady. Do your thing. But it's just so long as in the end, she's hanging out with Jaime more.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And Tormund, who's like telling Pod, "Yeah, lucky lad." Pod's just 2 feet sticking out of a snowbank, and he's going, "Really? Am I lucky? Really?"
Tormund is like, "Yeah."
Yeah. I wish that was me in that snowbank. Oh.
Now moving on to Sam, and first I want to talk about the montage.
Do we have to talk about that?
I feel like we should talk about it. It lasted a little too long.
If you're eating,
just stop.
Can we just stop right now? Just put it aside. They needed to put a warning up.
I know.
Like they had a nudity warning, and by the way, our nudity was a dead man on a table.
That's true.
With his penis flopped to the side and his guts hanging open. Which technically it's nudity, so they need to warn us, but they should have had a poop warning as well.
I feel like because of the way the montage was doing it, eventually the poop was like mixing with the food, and you're like, it all looks the same, and it's just like
we should do a contest with one of our videos. Be like poop or food, right? Poop or food, and like
is this
quick,
poop?
yes, is it? And a quick flash and see how many people get it right, right? Wouldn't that be fun?
I don't
know. Poor John Bradley. He's got to do these takes.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over and over again. And I'm just going, oh, you poor man.
Yeah.
Dedicated to your craft, though. Keep on marching, John.
The good news is he finally got the books from... Well, he stole.
He stole
the books from the restricted...
Maester Broadbent. We don't even know his name yet, do we? They didn't say.
That's true.
They say he just called him Archmaester. I don't recall hearing a name. There's a maester in the books named Marwyn that this guy kind of resembles, but Marwyn's a little more pug-like, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to call him Archmaester Broadbent.
So he stole the books from the restricted section. I mean, I guess it won't matter in the end if the White Walkers arrive whether he stole the books or not.
Right? No, he doesn't care about it. And Sam's been stealing things for the last couple episodes.
True.
Swords, books. Yeah, he doesn't care. Everything. He's gone full on thief.
He stole the baby too, technically.
Right? Yes, he did. Oh my God!
He stole Billy and the baby.
He's got like 3 levels of rogue at least. 3 levels of rogue.
3 levels of rogue.
Yeah,
yes. In Dungeons and Dragons. For those of you who didn't follow that.
Nerd.
And that links back to the Dragonstone theory that we were talking about with, John. There on Dragonstone, they have a lot of dragon glass, which can kill the White Walkers.
Yep, and I think Sam is going to he's writing clearly.
He's
going to write a letter to John. John's going to get the letter. And I think
go to Dragonstone.
I think he's going next episode, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. This is going to be so exciting. I think that in the trailer we also see them going into a cave, right? Or maybe we see Daenerys going into a cave.
Yes, I didn't see them going to a cave, but I saw Daenerys going into a cave. So we'll see.
Maybe she's like, hold on, I'll go check it out.
Let me go check
it out.
Right. I mean, what does she really need to believe this dude that comes to her in all these furs, looking like John with his man bun? And she's like, Danny's going to be giving him kind of the side eye, like, oh, who are you? Right. Do you think romance? Romance? John, Danny, do you think? Is that going to be a thing?
I don't know. I don't know if romance is going to be a thing in terms of strategy. They might, create a union between the two of them?
Yes, I think that has to happen. But how fast that actually happens, because again, I've said this before, I don't think that Dany has any reason at all to believe that there's an army in the north marching down. She is fixated on King's Landing. Clearly,
that's true.
You know, we'll get to Dany in a bit though, because she ended the whole thing, and I actually love that ending, and we'll get to that.
But before we move on from Sam, we also need to mention Jorah.
Jorah!
I almost forgot. Who is in the Citadel,
He's in the Citadel. Well, Dany told him to find a cure. Where's the best place to do that? The Citadel. It doesn't look like it's working, however.
Well, it looks like he's a prisoner too, right? Or they're not really letting him out?
It might be a willing prisoner.
Okay.
You know, like shut me in kind of thing.
And I love how he's asking whether or not Daenerys has made it over to like this side of the sea yet.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's like, I know she'll come. I just don't know when. Moving on to Cersei and Jaime and their meeting with Euron.
Whoa.
I actually really liked Euron in this episode.
He was doing this weird standing thing where he's like, kind of like this, and he's talking to her, and I'm like, that man is crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, shocker. I know.
Shocker.
He's legit crazy. So
yeah, I think Cersei kind of liked Encounter. I don't think Jaime liked him.
No.
Jaime was like, "What is going on?"
He was like, "You should try killing your siblings. It's fun." Jamie's like, if this was The Office, Jamie would be looking at the camera like,
yeah.
You have a theory. Do we want to talk about this here?
Oh.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
You have a theory about
the gift.
The gift that he's going to go get.
I mean, it's based on stuff that we might have seen.
Ish.
I think the gift will be Ilaria and Yara. Ilaria Sand and Yara. And maybe you said maybe the sand
Maybe
snake.
a few sand snakes just thrown in on the side.
I mean, who knows? Yeah. But mostly I think, especially since in the preview, we do actually see that they're going to be in episode 2.
Yes.
Yara and Ilaria getting it on. They're probably going to be taken prisoner because it seems like this is leading to the whole ship battle, all of that.
The ship battle.
And then he will bring Ilaria to Cersei. Although, like you said, I don't know if Cersei will really care about Yara.
She'll be like, Yara? Who?
She'll be like,
who's this other girl? Whatever.
I don't really care. Whatever. You can have her. You can kill her.
Throw her in a vat of fire.
Yeah.
Ilaria, though.
Yeah.
Whoa. If we thought what Cersei did to Septa Unella was bad.
Oh. And then we're going to move on to the Hound, Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, and their journey into the snow, which the Hound doesn't look like he's really enjoying. He's like,
snow-crusted beard. He's just like,
To be fair, he's not happy when there's fire. He's not happy when there's snow.
No, he's just not happy. Come on.
Except if there's chicken. I enjoyed that we had kind of a connection with his time with Arya.
Yes, that was good. That was good. And they brought it back to the one house. He was probably like, really? This house? This one house? Really? What are the odds?
What are the
of
odds?
us going back to the one house?
But I think it also shows his evolution as a character.
Yeah. Oh, no. That was great. It was great. And, you know, they're showing the human side of Sandor, and I enjoy that. I like that a lot. What do you think of Thoros showing him vision? I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So pretty much what he saw in the fire is ice, and more specifically the wall, and he's describing a place on the wall where the army of the White Walkers will be going through.
Yes, well, he said there's a castle at the end of the wall where it meets the sea.
Right.
Which is Eastwatch by the Sea. I mean, that's where John is sending Tormund.
Isn't that where he's sending?
He's sending Tormund, yeah. There. Bye, Tormund. I mean, sorry, but you know.
Well, we see him again a little later.
It's true. Right? Maybe Tormund will just wipe them all out, and it'll be like the Song of Ice and Tormund. And it's like, you know.
We know it hasn't happened yet, but it's definitely showing future.
Yeah.
Now, how close is that future? But the Hound certainly seemed like, holy shit, there's actually stuff in the fire.
As soon as we see a mountain that's shaped like an arrowhead, we're all going to freak out, basically. Yeah. Going, oh, they're here.
I do think now he's believing in the Lord of Light, which before he was like, yeah, sure. I mean, I know something weird is
Something's
happening.
going on.
But I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, he's believing. But again, even Beric doesn't seem to believe. Beric's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just weary. They're like, we have this power and it works, but
we don't know why.
We don't know why. What's the truth?
Well, I think they are doing what they're supposed to do, right? It seems like the Lord Light is showing them signs, and then again, it's always back to, are you interpreting it right? Melisandre certainly didn't interpret it right. Are they going in the right place? It seems like they're going in the right place. I did think it was interesting that he's like, look in the fire. What do you see? And he says, ice.
Yes.
And like, it's always that, opposite of ice and fire.
Yeah.
It's just thought it was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And what do you think the next time we actually see the Hound and Beric and Thoros is going to be at Eastwatch by the Sea? I think that's the next time we see them.
Which makes sense because in the trailer we also see them with Jon and Tormund.
Yes.
Fighting what seems like to be whites,
Yes.
right? Or surrounded by whites.
Well, we still don't know if they're.
It looks
like whites, but we're like,
we don't know.
Whoa.
We don't know. Maybe they're just rallying the troops, but it looks like they're trying to fight, right?
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to fight.
And finally, we end with Daenerys getting home.
She returns back to Dragonstone triumphantly, and nobody was staying in the castle. I at least thought there'd be like some like scraggy people be like, well, it was empty, so we decided to take shelter here, and there's a roof over our heads. But no, the whole place is deserted. People are probably like, hey, Dragonstone's empty. Stannis left it. Should we go there? And I'm like,
nah.
No, Stannis lived there, dude. And that man's cursed. Let's not go.
Cursed.
There's probably grayscale all over the place. His daughter had grayscale.
That's true.
I mean, I'm just making up reasons why the whole place was deserted. But I liked the visual of it, though. That was cool, her walking in.
Or maybe she sent her unsullied army first
That's true.
to clear it out.
Yes. What we don't see is the corpses of all the poor people that were just like huddled in there going, may we please stay here? Unsullied. No. The things the show doesn't show us, we could make a movie about. Did you like the fact that there was no words spoken by anybody except at the very end, Dany, and she says, shall we begin?
Yeah. Yes, we shall, Dany.
Yes, we shall.
Yeah, I don't think I even realized that there was no words being spoken until I think you pointed it out.
Right, yeah, that was it.
That's how much I felt was spoken.
Yeah.
Without words.
The
right?
visuals spoke a ton.
Yeah.
Speaking of visuals, the dragons, when they flew towards the towers, I'm like, yeah, those are pretty big dragons. And then they flew behind the tower. I'm like, those are really big dragons.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
the music. Oh, I love that music.
Ramin Djawadi.
Yep.
Emmy, please, at some point.
Yeah, has he not gotten an Emmy?
No, he hasn't.
And that's how episode 1 ends. That was a good episode 1.
I
feel like it's in line with what you would expect from a first episode of a new season for not for Dragonstone, for Game of Thrones. They usually start a little slower than like later episode. I mean, it started out pretty crazy, but I don't feel like there was anything like, Battle of the Bastards or anything. They just kind of ease you in, like, hey, here's a reminder of what everybody's kind of up to. And then we're getting into the crazy shit.
They did ease us in with a cold open that included the murder of about, 40 people.
Yeah.
However many were stuffed in that hall.
I mean, like, but in terms of like character, we saw a little bit of everybody.
Yes.
And just kind of set up everybody's story. So then we can just kind of get deeper into everything.
Arbor gold, people. It's yellow. It's gold. If she's telling you that it's gold and it's red, she's lying to you. You should know something is wrong. Something's up.
Thank you guys so much for watching our review. We'd, of course, love to hear what you thought of this episode. Did you enjoy it? Let us know in the comments. Kenny will be doing a breakdown of the preview for the next episode with Americ. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put the link in the description. Also, make sure to check out watchersonthewall.com. Because he's going to have a Twitter recap.
Twitter post! Yes. What up?
And we'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our videos.
It's right there. There's a button. There's a button.
There's
Subscribe.
a button.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. All right, ready to talk about Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yes, it's going to be.
Yes.
Hey!
Oh.
Totally.
Kenny's here. Oh, Daenerys. Dead. You killed her.
Daenerys.